We acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Turrbal people of Yuggera land, as well as the Woiwurrung people of the Wurundjeri land. We recognise their continued connection to the land and waters of this beautiful place and acknowledge that they never ceded sovereignty. We respect all Turrbal and Woiwurrung elders and ancestors and any First Nations people here today.
I can't take it anymore!
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good morning, Blurtstars, wherever you are around the world. You are listening to the new Blurt.
You absolutely are listening to the new Blurt. Hi, I'm the Kexter, and tonight I'm coming to you from a Wurundjeri country called a nation of the Woiwurrung people. Sovereignty was never ceded, always has been, and always will be Aboriginal land. I will go into the rundown of the show tonight. If this is your first time stumbling across the new Blurt, enjoy, and thank you for giving us your time. We're going to be talking about the tax cuts that are coming around, winners and losers, and a host of other things. But before we go into that, it's good evening, Wency.
Hello, everyone. It's great to be here. And before I get started, I want to acknowledge the traditional owners of Meanjin and recognise their continuing connections to lands and waters. And I pay my respect to all Yuggera and Turrbal people, past, present, and emerging. Oof, that's wet.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Wet.
Yes, I know. Well, we spoke about it on this show last week, and then good evening, Wency. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, yes, likewise.
We spoke about on the show last week the Queensland floods and or cyclone. How has that cyclone been progressing? Well, of want of a better word.
It's gone well as far as cyclones go.
I.e., the cyclone's happy with its work. That's what you're saying.
It did its job. It just did a mild destruction of far north Queensland. So I was actually talking to a customer today who lives in Townsville, and he said, yeah. So he said it was better than expected. It was only a Category 2. And yes, so
just lost the garage instead of the house. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I think most of the damage has come after that with flooding. For example, parts of southeast Queensland have severely have received a lot of wind floods. So a lot of people near Brisbane, so not in Brisbane, around the Lockyer Valley. Not sure if you can see here, have been flooded here in Lockyer Valley. This is lately.
That doesn't look good.
No, it definitely does not look good. So that it was probably almost a meter's worth of water there. Here is another place in Morayfield, so that's north of Brisbane. So it's the outskirts of northern Brisbane. So it's probably about.
I gather you're doing this. I gather you're doing this in real time because the pictures are a little bit.
Yes, I am doing this in real time. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through the page. Here we go. It's caught up.
Yeah, it's got there now. Yep.
Yeah.
It's a little bit crappy, but we can see what's going on.
Yeah,
we can see there's a lot of water there.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of water. So the Lockyer Valley, which is west of Brisbane, also has been flooded with emergency crews evacuating people overnight in the Swiftwater rescue boats. I think there were 28 calls to SES overnight just in one area, small area. So it's been pretty damaging. All this.
I was going to say the SES really earned their money, but unfortunately they're not even funded by the government, which I find almost I find that just almost unbelievable to think that the state emergency service in every state is not funded by the government. That just seems ridiculous to me.
So who funds it? Must be state?
Well,
or do they do? Might be some homework for us there.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I think so. Whack that in because I'm not exactly sure, and I know that Ness at one stage was going to join the SES, and I just could not believe how bad their funding was, considering how important they are, especially when it comes to tragedies like this. So they said that the cyclone, etc., they said that a lot of the offshoot of that, there'd be a hell of a lot of rain in Brisbane and even going south of Brisbane. Has that been the case with you?
Yeah. So all that area that all those photos that we just saw, and those suburbs are all surrounding Brisbane, so southeast
Oh, you're
Queensland.
kidding! Oh, wow.
Yeah. So we got a fair good drenching on Sunday and yesterday.
Yeah.
So the ground is pretty soaked in southeast Queensland and also west of Townsville. So in a central Queensland, Mount Isa, all that as you come down. So imagine a circle from North Queensland just going right around. So it's just done an anti-clockwise loop, this rain.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. So that's where it's gone. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. And so so are you needing to take a boat to work, or what's going on there?
If I was going to work, yes. It's been so hot and muggy, I just have not even wanted to get out of this house.
Yeah, fair enough too. Wow. So it's been really hot and flooding.
Yes, hot, flooded. I'm starting to see mold creeping on outside of the house that we live in. So I've got some work to do over the weekend to clean that up. It's just been 80%
humidity
or more for the past week. Pretty constant.
Yeah.
Fun,
That's
fun
I've
times.
never been a big fan of that. You know that. I tell you something I have been a fan of in the past though, and that is homework, which we had a little bit of.
Homework, that is right. I should go first because it leads on from what we were just talking about.
Go for it.
Because my homework was the different categories in cyclones.
Right.
Yeah, so it was predicted that Kirrily, Cyclone Kirrily, ex-tropical cyclone Kirrily, was going to hit as a Category 3, but ended up hitting as a Category 2 once it hit landfall. But a Category 1, just to quickly recap what these categories are, I'll go from least damaging to most damaging. Maximum wind mean speed is 63 to 88 kilometers, so not too hard. With a
Jesus, that sounds fast to me.
With the strongest gust up to 125 kilometers, so it can bit of damaging winds, negligible house damage, can damage some crops, trees, and caravans, and craft may drag moorings but not come off it. Category 2, which was Kirrily, destructive winds, minor house damage, significant damage to signs, trees, and caravans, heavy damage to some crops, risk of power failure, which I know they did have in Townsville, and small craft may break moorings with the maximum mean wind speed of 89 to 117. So it's the next bracket up. And the strongest gust between 125 and 164. So you can imagine these numbers are going to get worse. Category 3, roofs will come off, caravans destroyed, significant damage to crops and trees, power failure most likely, wind mean speed 120 to 160, that's as an average or mean, and the strongest gusts 165 to 224 kilometers. That's only Category 3. That's exactly right. Category 4, significant loss to roofs, structural damage, many caravans destroyed and blown away, a bit like Wizard of Oz, I'm guessing. Dangerous airborne debris, that's where it's pretty dangerous to definitely be outside. Mean wind speed 160 to 200 as an average, and the strongest gust between 225 and 280. Category 5, which is the worst, is pretty much just extremely dangerous, widespread destruction of everything. Mean average speed greater than 200, and the strongest gust are greater than 280. So I think Cyclone Tracy was over 300 kilometers when it hit. So you can imagine the and we all know how destructive that was in Darwin back in 74, I think it was.
Something like that. And what was the category on that one?
I think it was, I'm pretty confident it was Category 5.
Oh, Jesus. Wow. Holy crap. No wonder it wiped out it wiped out what that half a Darwin, didn't it? Or
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
it
it
was,
was a category 4 actually. I just did a quick
category 4.
search. Yeah,
Wow, that's pretty
still
serious
damaging.
stuff.
Yeah,
That is pretty serious stuff. And thank you very much for following up with that
my
homework. A little bit of homework that I had from last week that I actually gave myself because I thought we owed it to the Blurtstars. Anatomy of a Fall, which was and is one of the Oscar-nominated movies that we did touch on last week. In was that What's on the Box? No,
I think it was just in Blurt Around the World we're talking about.
Blurt on the Right. Okay, cool. No worries. And we were talking about the Oscars, etc. Anyway, Anatomy of a Fall was one of those movies, and I thought it was incumbent of me to actually find out what it was about because it's Oscar nominated, and you and I just went, well, I've got no idea. It's actually a true story.
Okay.
And it's a French film, which is even more interesting in the fact that it's in the top nominations for an Oscar. Story revolves around Sandra, a character in the film. Sandra is assisted by her old friend, lawyer Vincent Renzi. Sandra is striving to prove her innocent in a complex web of intrigue. The courtroom becomes a battleground of narratives. Each side paints their own version. The film is a French legal drama thriller. The film presents a labyrinth of truth and deception. It's not just the fall of a man, but the fall of a relationship. And it won the Palme d'Or at the 76 Cannes Film Festival.
Nice.
So it's a bit of a heavy hitter. The thing that it didn't talk about there is that what happens is it's right at the start of the movie. It's called Anatomy of a Fall, so I'm not giving anything away.
Okay.
Her husband is found fallen somehow from 3 stories from their snow chalet, of their chalet in the snow.
Right.
And she apparently is the only one around.
Yeah, intriguing.
And so they start doing a bit of a whatever. Anyway, so that is a true story. It's based on a true story. So, and I had a look at the trailer. It looks really, really good.
Yeah.
So I would recommend that, and I would definitely go and see it. The other thing I wanted to just clear up was the name of the book that I was talking about, mosquitoes, last week. Just again, I think it was in Blurt Around the World.
No, that one was in, sorry to interrupt, was in Great People That Did Stuff when we're talking about Marcus Aurelius.
Beautiful.
We're talking about how mosquitoes can kill armies and stuff.
Superb. Absolutely superb. And this book discusses the significant impact of mosquitoes on human history, including the fact that mosquito-borne diseases have killed close to half of the 108 billion human beings who have ever lived.
Wow.
Yeah. Half. So, yeah. So that's pretty ridiculous. And that's why I hate them.
Yeah.
So there you go. But I
try
think
being up here in this humid,
you must be
climate
getting a few, I would have thought. Yeah.
everywhere. Amount of mozzie bites I've got all over me. Luckily, they're not killing me.
Yes, it is very lucky because we've been getting ulcers down here apparently. So
Oh, really? Ooh, okay.
yeah, apparently some mosquitoes. It's all comes down to climate change. It all comes down to the fact that the climate is getting hotter and weirder. It's because it's not just warming; it's changing. That's why it's called climate freaking change.
Yeah.
The fact is that I remember the summers we used to have here, and they used to be hot and they used to be dry. And I don't think we've actually had that for about 2 or 3 years now.
Yeah.
Again, this year the temperatures have been down. We've had quite a bit of rain, and according to me, it's a La Nina or an El Nino. Did we have an El Nino?
We're in an El Nino.
Is that the dry or the wet?
That should be the dry.
Right. So the El Nino is the dry, we're saying.
El Nino is dry, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you would think that we would be getting dry, but no, we're not.
No.
We do have a hot one coming up on Sunday. We have a 35, but that's really the hottest we've had so far. Mind you, though. Well, no, that's correct. And that's only the end of January. So what I am going to assume is going to happen is that we are going to get our hot weather from February onwards.
Yeah, till probably March, I'm guessing.
Correct. Maybe even past.
Mm.
So that's how much things are changing, and
Everything's just shifting, isn't it? It's like it's just moving just down the calendar.
Yeah, no, absolutely, it absolutely is. I mean, the animals must just be going mental, going, "What the hell's going on?
Yeah.
I shouldn't be giving birth now. What am I doing?" There's a lot
Bloody
of that.
winter.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. But anyway, we should do this, I think.
Blurt around the world, around the world, around the world, around the world.
Yeah, so Blurt around the world. Another couple of reasons not to go to Sydney. Unfortunately,
Blurt around the world, around the world, around the world.
That one down a little bit.
Yeah, I can do that. I can do that next time. Yeah, a 20-year-old lady in her 20s has just been bitten by a shark in Sydney Harbour by a bull shark.
Crap!
Yeah, no, it's true. It is true.
I
see what I see what you did there. I see what you did there. But I wasn't fast enough to get on a thing there. But considering there is someone's life in danger, I didn't think it was a laughing moment. So Lauren O'Neill, who's in her late 20s, was bitten on the right leg by a suspected bull shark in Elizabeth Bay around sunset on Monday, which is Sydney Harbour. It was horrifying. I never experienced anything like it, he told Nine's Today program on Tuesday. I'm not sure if she was just talking about Nine's program on Tuesday or getting bitten by the bull shark. I'm not sure. Not exactly sure on that one. But her leg was sort of trailing behind her, which is never a good sign. Behind her was all of the red blood. The whole thing was totally surreal, and I still haven't processed it all, so I won't say any more than that. Apart from the fact, again, another reason not to go to Sydney. And then
she survived, I believe.
Well, she seems to be okay, but yeah, it's been a bit crap. It's not been great. I'm just going to double check the end of this, and she's definitely survived, but it's not great. What we got? Oh, here we go. Approximately 8 tagged bull sharks have been detected by shark listening stations off Sydney beaches over the past week, according to the minister, who said the government will continue to work with councils on shark safety programs and awareness.
Wow.
I find that quite interesting because it says shark listening stations off Sydney beaches over the past week, and all I can see as a vision is a whole bunch of sharks just having a chat to each other. And, the station go, "Oh, can you see Sydney out there? I think it's about to bite someone. We better just let them know that you probably shouldn't do that."
Yeah.
But anyway, apparently they prefer water temperatures above 20 degrees, as I know you do. Slightly deeper water during the day and shallow water at night, and are more active at dawn to dusk. So keep out of the water down there, I would say.
Yes. Highly recommend that.
Yes,
stick to those what are they called, rock pools in Sydney, in and around Sydney and down the coast, where it's all enclosed.
Yes.
But you still get the ocean water.
Yes, good luck. Yeah, good luck finding a shark in there. I mean, geez, if you did, you'd be very, very unlucky.
Yeah.
Just imagine if you went to a rock pool and all of a sudden a shark is just bathing in it, and you just can't. Tell me that wouldn't just scare the shit out of you.
So for the shark, all it wants is just to sunbake in the pool by itself, not share it with anyone. And then all these humans get in the way.
That's it. You can just imagine the poor old the poor old shark is there just in the rock pool. Just, "Oh, come on, just fuck off and let me be, will you?"
Yeah.
You can sort of just imagine it. But anyway, talking about that and talking about the water, I believe you've got something on a surfing dog or something.
I do. Yes, just recently came to news from Peru, a little Jack Russell, 4-year-old Jack Russell that loves to surf. And the owner, Mauro Canella, is a surfing instructor at the beach in San Bartolo, which is about 50 kilometers from Lima, the capital of Peru.
I'm so
And,
glad you did this one and not me. Yeah, I love it when you do all the accents. Very good. Very good.
Efruz is not a Spanish word that I know of, so I don't know where Efruz, which is the dog's name, where it comes from. But yeah, little 4-year-old Jack Russell. Yeah, they started surfing about a year ago, but they're not the only ones who surf on this beach and around this area. There's about a dozen others that can be seen in the area. But I thought
Oh,
I'd
you
give
mean dogs? Dogs surfing?
dogs surfing, yes, surfing dogs
Wow.
with their
Wow.
owners. So I'm just going to share a video.
Oh, nice. Excellent.
And here we go. Hope you can see that.
Oh, yes. Very, very clearly. Nice.
Little safety vest.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yep, there he
Oh,
is.
that's very cool.
Keeps his balance pretty well, doesn't he?
Anyone listening and not watching at this stage, we have a little Jack Russell on the end of a surfboard, and we will have the links in the show notes, so you'll be able to go and have a look at that yourself. But it's a pretty good picture, and now you can see the guy just paddling in with the dog on the surfboard. He looks quite happy. He doesn't look like he's too upset about it.
No.
How long's he been surfing?
About a year now. So yeah, it's pretty much an expert now for a dog.
Wow, absolutely. He's a beautiful little Jack Russell, isn't he? Oh,
Yeah.
what a nice that. It's a nice story. I like that.
Oh, it
I like
is.
that. That's very good. That's very good. Unfortunately, you know, I like to. I would love to keep the joy going, but it seems to be this time, which is.
Oh, got some nice music playing in the background. Oh, no.
It's Trump Watch.
Trump.
Can you get the Trump jail background up for me?
Oh, yes, I can do that.
That would be really, really good. So in Trump Watch this week, what's happened? Well, many things have happened, but we'll go along with the really, really important one that he's extremely upset about. He's not a happy camper at all on this one. And just before I go there, I'll just say a couple of things that are happening. So he has just won New Hampshire and he just won Iowa in the last couple of weeks in the caucuses over there. So that means that he's their representative for the Republican Party, but he's still got another 48 states to go.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there was a rumor or something that I heard that Hawaii was thinking about throwing him off the ballot as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Colorado still have their court case, I think, about to go to the US Supreme Court because they want to throw him off the ballot. And Maine does as well.
Does that mean that Nikki Haley can be on the ballot for those states where they're trying to scrub him off?
Yes, it absolutely does.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's a chance she could win if she stays in the race. Some of those states.
Yes, and we will do a party in the USA at one stage, but not for probably a couple of weeks. But the one thing I will say about that is I think that Nikki Haley's idea, who is the only other candidate who is versing Trump at this particular stage, her idea to stay in is, I think, just to be a pain in his ass, because the longer she is there, the more angry and grumpy and completely cantankerous and 100% unhinged is old Orange Head. So
I didn't think he could get any worse. I thought he was always like that, but yes, I see what you mean though. It will get worse.
Yeah, it will get worse because he's got 91 counts and I think 4 or 5 court cases. So he's only got to be convicted on any one of those counts. And apparently 40% of the Republican Party won't vote for him. So cross your fingers. But
and he's got some damages to pay as well, hasn't he?
Absolutely. So the news just gets better for old Orange Head. So Trump has been ordered to pay $83 million in damages in the second defamation trial. So Trump defamed, and he was found to have defamed E. Jean Carroll the first time round, and he had to pay her $5 million because the judge said it was just a judge, no jury on this one. And he said, yep, you're guilty, and I don't believe your story, and you need to pay $5 million. Within 24 hours, he defamed her again, and because he's a genius, absolute genius. And E. Jean Carroll went, okay, no problems. I will just sue you again.
Sue you again.
And she's done very well. Yeah, absolutely. Ding, ding, round two. And she's definitely won round two. And Lena Hubbard, who is Trump's attorney, she is a bit unhinged as well. Absolute nutbag. And she's very, very upset. So the jury decided that only a big sum would stop Trump from opening his mouth. So $5 million wasn't going to do it, but 83 million. So 83 million. This came down on the 27th of January, right? Mm-hmm. It's the 30th, about to go into the 31st, and he has not said a peep.
And will he appeal? I assume he will.
Yes, of course he will appeal, but he's not saying anything at all before the appeal either. So this is a large sum. It's a very, very large sum, said Dmitry Shunkinovich, an attorney and professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Carroll's lawyers successfully made the case to the jury that only a huge amount of money would compel this idiot to stop. And an award for, obviously that was, parts of me in there. An award for punitive damages relies on severity of the conduct, Shunkinovich says. What the jury is saying is that this wealthy orange-headed dude who will not stop, the only way to stop him is to hurt him financially. So while we cannot know the jury's private deliberations penalty, this large speaks to circumstance of the case, what they thought of it for sure. There may be appellate procedures, maybe some reductions, but this isn't a good thing, and that is for sure. So yeah, so a little bit of a comeuppance there.
Yes. He'll never shut up. I just know that. He's always got to open up his big gob.
Yes, it does very much seem to be open often.
Yes.
And
nothing intelligible ever comes out.
No, usually when it does, it's not particularly intelligent to listen to. No. And it's usually hate-filled and all the rest of it. And
lies and stuff.
Absolutely. But we have some fantastic stuff after Trump Watch. And so I think what we'll do is just go to a quick break, and we will get the blood bank to talk about how good they are. And then we'll be back, and we will talk about the Australians of the Year that were just awarded just last week. So we'll do that, and we'll get that sorted. Away we go.
When you give blood, you're more than just a blood donor. You're the lifeblood of Australia. Search Give Blood and book your donation with Australian Red Cross Lifeblood today. Give life. Give blood.
Hey, this is Hannah Melville Ray from the Australia Institute. I'm listening to the new Blurt with Wency and the Kegster, and you should be too. It's on Tuesday nights, live from around 8 p.m.
Blurt On Society.
It is Blurt On Society. And so we've got a few winners of the Australians of the Year. Do you have some information on that, Wency?
I do have on a few, but I don't know which one you want to start off with.
Do you
want to start off with the big one?
No, we might leave the big one to last, I think.
To end? Okay.
Yeah, if you're good with that.
Yep.
I thought I might do Yame Unipingu, which is the Australian Indigenous of the year.
That's right.
And was awarded for a lifetime of dedication to preserving and sharing Yolngu culture and language, fostering understanding and reconciliation between Indigenous and non-Indigenous Australians. Yeah, she's been teaching it for a really long time. I think 30 years apparently.
Yeah, something like that.
It was pretty cool to watch, actually, to be honest. Her give her speech, as it were. She's
I missed out on watching it this year. I normally do watch it because I do like to see who are the winners and their achievements. But yeah, sorry, go on.
No, absolutely. It was awesome, actually, and she had a standing ovation when she gave her speech, and she is the widower of the Unipingu who died, I think, just last year, was it? Before Gama Festival, I think, or maybe after the Gama Festival. I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And I think that Unipingu was the brother of the one that was in Yothu Yindi.
Yindi, correct.
Yeah. Who unfortunately died quite a few years ago, actually.
Yeah, a number of years ago, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, she is the survivor Unipingu, as it were, and yeah, it was a great award, and it was great to see her get it. We also have, I think this was the Young Australian. I think this was Young Australian of the Year. Correct me if I'm wrong. Emma McKeon. Have you got that
McKeon.
one?
Yep, I do have that one.
Good. You might have a bit more information on that one, so go for it.
Yes, Emma McKeon or Keon.
Could be McKeown. Who knows?
McKeown.
Not
never
sure how they
pronounce that one. Depends on which side of England you're from, I guess. Many of Australians may know her and her rivals too from around the world. She is an ex-Australian swimmer. Swam in the 2020 Tokyo Games, where she became the first female swimmer and the second woman in history to win 7 medals in a single Olympics.
Oh my giddy aunt! That's nuts.
So it is very, very high achieving athlete she is.
Golds in there, or
yeah, a bunch of golds and other medals. I don't have the exact mix here. But,
wow.
Comes from a strong family of swimmers, with her father, mother, brother, and uncle all representing Australia in the pools, in the swimming pool. Didn't quite make the 2012 London Olympics, but she took a break. And 2 years later, went and won 6 medals from 6 races at the 2014 Games, or the Commonwealth Games.
That's what you call an overachiever.
Definitely puts us all to shame. Yeah, she said she was humbled to receive the award. I've been swimming for as long as I can remember, and I grew up inspired by incredible athletes, which put a fire in my belly to go after my dreams and do something great with the power of determination and hard work. But yeah, she said also that she hopes to inspire others to go after their dreams. Yeah, another quote from her: "Don't be afraid to take on hard things and set aspirational goals that at times might be scary. This is how we push ourselves to achieve our dreams." So she is only 29, I think she was. Yeah, she is 29-year-old. So yeah.
And that was that Young Australian of the Year?
Young Australian, correct.
Wow. I've got a particularly interesting one here. And I'm just faffing a little because I don't have quite as much information as I wanted. So I just wanted to find... right, here we go. So Dr. Janine Mohammed, she was... Oh, good. So they're in there. So she should be in there somewhere.
Should be in there.
Can you see her? There she is. No. She's a Vic. Dr. Janine Mohammed. She is 2024 Vic Australian of the Year. So she's an exceptional leader. Sometimes jokes about being an accidental CEO, and her nearly 5 years leading the Loitia Institute in Melbourne, and before that as the CEO of the Congress of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander Nurses and Midwives. She's created important platforms for Indigenous peoples and championed culturally safe healthcare. Narunga Corner woman, Janine initially studied nursing at the University of South Australia, where she's now an adjunct professor, celebrated alumni of the year. For the next 25 years, she worked in nursing, health policy and research in the Indigenous community-controlled health sector. In 2020, she was awarded an honorary doctorate in nursing by the Edith Cowan University. She's committed to dismantling racism, expanding opportunities for Indigenous health workforce, and closing the gap in Indigenous health outcomes through the systemic integration of cultural safety. So that is an absolute cracker. So that is Australian of the Year. So
nominee. So in that list,
that's a nominee from Victoria. Yep, got it.
Victoria. Yep. So in those columns you can see the nominees, and then the winners are all at the top. For each category, you've got Australian of the Year on the left, Senior Australian that you spoke about, Yalnay, Young Australian of the Year, Emma, and then the local hero, David Elliott.
Beautiful. The local hero. Okay. I'd love to get a bit of information on the local hero if you've got any there. It would be nice.
I do. So David Elliott, a little segue there. David Elliott is a pastoralist who was a Queensland pastoralist. Is that how you pronounce it? I'm really struggling with some of these pronunciations today.
Pastoralist. Pastoralist. Let's say pastoralist.
Yes.
Pastoralist.
So he was mustering sheep on his outback Queensland property in 1999 when he came across some dinosaur fossils on his property. That discovery led to many others, and he and his wife eventually, over time, founded the Australian Age of Dinosaurs Museum of Natural History. It was operated on their property in outback Queensland, and where they conducted digs and built an impressive collection of dinosaur fossils. It grew so big that the museum later moved onto donated land elsewhere, and that museum now houses some of the most significant collection of fossils from the nation's largest dinosaurs. And Elliott said he was honoured just to be nominated. I simply represent the hard work and passion of a lot of people, and I'm just proud to be one of them, he said as he accepted his award. The 66-year-old also highlighted the importance of education, saying he was determined to build a national history museum to rival those out overseas. So he's got lofty goals now. So hopefully he can build a bigger museum. So we'll have to find out where this museum is located, and I'll do that while we're chatting. It is in Caulfield in Queensland. I have
wow.
Caulfield in Queensland. Corfield.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Caulfield, other than Caulfield.
Near Winton. So you've probably heard of Winton.
I have heard of Winton, yeah. I don't know anything about it, but I've heard of it. I've heard of it.
Yeah, Winton. So Longreach, you must have heard of Longreach.
Yes, definitely heard of Longreach.
All right. So go north Queensland, go to Rockhampton, head west for 4 or 5, 6 hours, and you've hit Longreach. Go a little bit further, and you'll reach Caulfield, Winton. And
that's amazing. So you can drive 5 or 6 hours west from where? From Brisbane?
From Rockhampton.
Is that right on the coast?
Yes, that is right on the coast.
Right. Okay, cool. Just shows you how big Queensland is.
Yeah, exactly. I
don't think you can drive. Can you drive 5 hours in Victoria? I'm trying to think where you could drive 5 hours in Victoria.
It'll probably be, what's the one in top northwest?
Yeah.
Mildura.
Yeah, Mildura or Echuca, or I can't really think of. But again, I don't think that's 5 hours. I think it's only like 4 hours.
No, that's probably 4 hours.
Just shows you how big Queensland is.
Oh, sure is.
Ridiculous.
You can see here on the map.
So big, and no one lives there.
Yeah.
Oh,
There's Rockhampton right on the coast. There's Townsville up
right.
here.
Yeah.
So it's closer to Townsville than it is to Rockhampton.
Yeah.
Or Rocky, as the locals call it. And there's
Yes.
Longreach.
Yeah.
Winton is just to the left of that red marker where the museum is, and there's Caulfield.
Oh wow. Right.
Yeah. So
I'm watching Total Control on Sunday nights at the moment, and absolutely loving it. And they mentioned, oh my goodness gracious me, we'll talk about it on What's on the Box in a few weeks' time.
Total Patrol.
No, Total Control.
Total Control. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Curious.
But yes, I'll keep the people teased slightly because you will be able to pick it up on iView if you haven't watched it. So now I will. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, so the big Australian, if you can maybe put that list up again.
Bring that up. Yep.
The big Australians of the year were Professor Richard Scolyer and Professor Georgina Long from New South Wales. And in a short word, the pioneering research and treatment advances in melanoma, saving countless lives and improving the outlook for patients worldwide. But expanding on that, because considering they're Australians of the year, I probably should. For over 30 years, Professor Scolyer and Long have been in the forefront of melanoma research and treatment, and me being stage 0 melanoma, know all about that. They have developed innovative diagnostic tools, targeted therapies, personalized treatment plans, and significantly improved survival rates and quality of life for melanoma patients. Their groundbreaking work has saved countless lives and transformed the outlook of this once deadly disease. Their dedication to research collaboration and patient care is an inspiration to us all, and their achievements represent a true triumph for Australia's scientific excellence. And they've received numerous awards and accolades, including the Order of Australia, and I'll just talk about that segue in a second. And their joint recognition as Australia of the Year is a testament to their profound impact on the lives of others. Now, as amazing as those two people are, and they are off the charts amazing, the guy out of those two, which I think is, Richard Scolyer, is 57 and he's got terminal brain cancer.
Which was only discovered, what was it, June of last year, I think it was?
Yep. So he is a guinea pig in his own experiments and treatment, etc., etc. So I really, really hope that he's able to get on the podium next year. It would be fantastic if he can.
To hand over the Australian of the Year award to the next person. Yeah, it would be great.
It would be great. My partner's dad actually got diagnosed with melanoma, stage 3, about 15, 16. How long have I been back? 2010, 2008. What is it? We're in 2024. Yeah, about 12 to 15 years ago. He was diagnosed with stage 3 and he was given 6 to 9 months to live.
And he's still around. Awesome. That's such good news. And
it is. And the reason is because the thing is that he had the immunal, because he you could say luck or you could say hard work, whatever, or a bit of both. He had a bit of coin behind him. So he went to some of the best places, got the best treatment, and he had some of the treatment that they're working on and they have been working on, as you said, for over 30 years. Well, part of those years, he was actually getting some of that treatment that other people couldn't afford and didn't know of. But because of people like him, that treatment is getting more affordable all the time. And their idea is to have government-funded melanoma checks, full skin checks for everyone, basically, yearly. Because, I mean, when I go, every time it's $200. So
yeah. There was a period there last year when I got my skin checked and they pulled out a BCC, basal carcinoma, whatever
basal
it was.
cell carcinoma,
Yeah, that's it. That was free. So whenever I did that, which So 2022. So it must have been part of COVID and other relief that they did at the time. But
Oh,
now,
wow.
you've got to pay for it. So
Yeah, because you had one recently. You had to pay for that one.
yeah, no, that was free.
Oh, that
so
was the one.
Yeah, the one that I did in 2022 was free.
Right.
I got a reminder just before my holidays in December, and yeah, it was a paid service now. So
Yeah.
I only put it off because we're about to go on holidays and didn't have time.
Yeah, no, I understand. I totally get that, and that is one thing that these two people are 100% promoting, which is sun safety. And she's Professor Georgina Long in particular was just saying how bad a tan is for you. And I mean, I've been saying it for years, but but yeah, pre-tanning is just free cancering. So
yeah, are tanning salons still a thing, or have they been outlawed?
Yeah, look, it's a great question. I don't think they are, and I think they were. I think they were outlawed. I know they used to be a big thing when I went to London one of the first times, and they, I'm not sure if they got outlawed. I think they were outlawed just before I left, maybe.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure they're outlawed here. From my understanding, most girls who still want to tan, they just fake tan all the time. So, go for your life. You want to fake tan. I think that's a great idea. If you want to be brown and you want to do it without getting cancer, we'll go for it. So, now what I wanted to refer to was you did a bit last week on great people that did stuff on the spraying of skin.
Spray on skin. That's right.
Yeah. Dr. Fiona Wood, I believe.
That's right.
And
she what did she win?
She just won the Order of Australia.
Yeah, awesome.
Obviously from her extensive work in that area still. So if you're not sure, people that are listening to this show, go back and listen to last week's potty. And once he talks about Fiona Wood and he talks about spray on skin in great people that did stuff, it's a very, very good listen. And the potty's out now. So
that's right. So it was Fiona Wood and Maria Stoner, so that she gets the credit as well. So it was two people with the spray on skin technology.
Yes, definitely. Well, I think what we might do is talk about the stage 3 tax cuts. What do you reckon?
Yep, sounds good.
Wind this baby up, just to keep people awake, maybe.
Yes, maybe if economics doesn't bore you to death.
Yeah, I was going to say. But if you're getting money out of it, you might be
questions in session. Have a seat. It's the economy, stupid. Simple lesson. 1929, the big crash.
It's the economy, stupid.
Sure is.
It absolutely is.
Let's start off with the easy ones, the winners.
Yeah, well, you go for it, Wency.
Yep.
Tell me who those winners are.
The winners. Well, the winners are you and me.
Oh, wow.
Yes, we will get a lot more than what we would have got under the previous plan. So I'm not going to reveal exactly how much I earn, but I'll just bring up the table. So we've got under the Liberals tax stage 3 tax cut plan, people under 140, we're going to get a decent amount of coin back.
Definitely.
But now they're going to get $454 more than they would have. So they've had an increase in their return or their rebate. I guess that's a rebate.
Okay.
It's a rebate.
No, well, it's
a tax refund. So
it's a tax refund.
Yeah,
But the thing with this is that you don't get it all in one lump sum. You just pay less tax each week.
Yeah.
Which is annoying.
It is. You sort of want it in one lump sum, so you can go buy the big 65-inch TV or 80-inch TV that everyone's been dreaming of. But when it's when you're only getting $10 a week or whatever it works out to. Yeah.
Yeah. No, well, that's exactly right. But to be 100% honest, and anyone on this show can hold me to this, it's not a problem. I'm more than happy whatever tax cut we get, because I don't really believe in the tax cut, to give it to some decent charities. But that's going to be really hard to do now because of the way that I won't even know what I'm not getting or I am getting.
Yeah, just incremental.
Yeah, which is slightly annoying.
It is. So anyone with
anyway.
140,000 or less has an increase of the tax cut that they would have got if it hadn't been changed. So they are the winners. Anyone earning up to 140. So win-win.
Win-win. So anyone under 140. So I believe that the people that are on 45 grand now, very much lower, because 45 grand now, unfortunately, is very low. But I mean, you might be a part-time worker, etc. You could be a mum or a dad going back to work just part-time while the other half is working full-time, whatever the situation is. They actually get some money back, whereas before I believe they got none.
They were getting nothing, correct. So here we've got the table 40,000, zero previously, now they're getting 654, which can pay for, gas bill for a year.
For sure. For sure. I mean,
or something.
Absolutely.
So.
I mean, if you're getting $26 more a week, right, that is easy. I mean, you could easily do, if there's only 3 of you or something, you can easily do a few meals on that at home. That would easily pay for a couple of meals. I mean, admittedly, if you went to McDonald's or whatever, you might only get 1 meal out of it. But if you actually, bought some rice and whatever, and did some meals at home, you could easily feed for 3, a few times a week, etc.
Yeah, and especially with the cost of living at the moment, every dollar counts.
Well, absolutely. So what we're saying is the winners are basically anyone 140 grand down. Is that what we're saying?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, well, that's good, because I believe before the winners were 200,000 up to 250 grand. I believe they were the winners.
Let's have a look. So if we scroll down a little bit, yes. So 200,000 and above would have got 9,000.
And now they're getting 4.5. Oh, my heart bleeds. My heart.
I know. Tell me about it.
Bleeds.
Yes.
I have heard some argument that there was a tax cut stage 1 and a tax cut stage 2. But that argument falls on its feet pretty quickly when you actually have a look at the information on both those tax cuts. And one was meant to be temporary, and the other one was just such a small cut for the lower to middle class earners, was just ridiculous. And then all of a sudden you look at stage 3 and just go, what, the actual?
Yeah.
Well, that's the winners. Well, I thought I might do the losers. And as we've just mentioned, the losers will be the Richies, which is about time. That's what I would say. So the biggest losers from legislated stage 3 tax cuts are higher socioeconomic status areas, including, and this is what I find really interesting as well, including all the teal independent seats. And absolutely. And the thing that's particularly interesting about that is that I was following, and as I do, I follow a few of the teals on Instagram. Well, we do, the Blurt does. And I was following Allegra Spender's post a little bit the other day. And it was interesting because she keeps sort of posting the same question regarding the tax cuts, etc. What was your impression, etc. And she had I saw all the replies, and so many of the replies were, it was so good to see Albo actually make a really courageous decision and help out the country, etc., etc., etc. And this was, a lot of this was coming from her own electorate, and and lots of other people as well. And you could see she was sort of fishing for a different sort of answer, and the amount of people that sort of kicked back on that stream and just said, look, we've already told you. Why do you keep asking us the same question? we told you. We thought it was good. Just, accept it. Because elective spender is in one of the highest socioeconomic status areas in Australia. So, as I say, with the Teals, etc., and we'll go through that in a second, but the independent seats and some Sydney Metro Liberal seats, Labor's new tax has to give $359 billion over 10 years to Australians, delivering gains to all taxpayers earning less than 146. We just talked about that, et cetera, with nearly 90% of regions better off under the new proposal.
Yeah.
And the higher socioeconomic status areas would benefit less under the Labor's plan. Nearly 9% of regions would still increase in disposable income. So I've got a couple of things here on the winners. So the biggest losers, wealthy inner city suburbs, particularly those in independent Labor-held seats. And the worst hit electorates are Warringah, that's Zali Steggall's seat.
Yep. Tony
with average
of one.
Yep, correct. With average taxpayers losing $22.51. But that means, which means they were getting, quite a lot before. Other heavily impacted areas, Grainler, which is Albo's electorate, Wentworth, Curtin, North, Sydney, Mossman, and Goldstein. So the average on each one of those, Grainler, Albo's is going to be 1670. Wentworth, well, that's Malcolm Turnbull's.
Old state.
Yeah, 1487. Curtin, 1251, and North Sydney, Mossman area. That's a really rich area. That's 1206. And Goldstein, which I believe is Zoe Daniel in Victoria. Yeah. They're going to be worse off by 1,000. But she's in like Brighton and et cetera, et cetera. So it's not like they need to coin it all. And what do we got? Overall focus targeting tax relief towards lower and middle income earners. Estimated benefit, blah, blah, blah. We know that. The distribution of tax cuts remains a subject of discussion regarding income inequality and economic growth. I tend to agree with that because I don't think you can just grow for eternity. We can't just keep growing. It's just going to explode. Somehow we have to square that circle to stop trying to, if you're listening to this, Keg is putting his hand upwards and making an upwards going, we can't just keep growing. Now I am doing a circle. I'm making a circle.
Trying to fit a square into a circle or a circle into a square.
Yes, well, that's how our economy needs to go. It needs to feed itself rather than the way that we just this exponential growth that we always need. But anyway, I've got a couple of tips here for billionaires and rich people doing it hard. And
I feel sorry for him.
I know. Well, look, this might help. This might help. So, I mean, the LNP is saying, and the Australian media, they're doing it the toughest right now, and they're only going to receive $4,500 tax cut. So, we're just trying to help the strugglers doing it tough on 200,000 plus a year. So, maybe one of the tips could be cut down on the avocado and caviar toast.
Yeah.
We all love our comfort foods, but alternatively, have your private chef cook you something else instead.
Yeah.
Maybe even make your own breakfast. When you're doing it, it's tough. It's important to live within your means, So just got to think about these things. Look, honestly, you might have to do this. You might not want to, but you might have to. You might have to sell one of your many investment properties.
No, can't do that.
Yeah, no. So despite popular belief, investment properties actually sold instead of just hoarded. And maybe this time financial hardship is a good excuse to do a bit of spring cleaning and, just sell one of those many investments that you can to get a few quick millions, basically.
Yeah.
So another tip for the richies out there, you could find a roommate for your mansion.
Oh, yeah.
That's
for the
always...
level 1 of 5.
Yes, exactly
like you
right.
mentioned.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly right. Exactly right. It's just to get so not only is it a good way to stay in contact with people and argue over who left a couple of drops of milk left in the milk bottle, it also brings the cost down. And luckily you're the owner of the mansion, so you won't need to worry about the landlord raising your rent after you learning you got a roommate. So there's always that. And tip 4 is you could let the kids take the bus to private school. Instead of having a chauffeur drive them all the time. So,
Oh man, yeah, great idea.
Sometimes you've got to batten down the hatches when it comes to the financial side of things. Sometimes, the idea of your children going anywhere near the unwashed on public transport, obviously that's a scary thought. But financially, it's a lot cheaper and better for the environment than having a chauffeur take them to their elite private school. So.
Yeah.
If that is a step too far, you can consider trying a car instead of a helicopter for the daily run. So maybe
just add an extra half hour an hour to your commute. That's all.
That's
all
it,
we
exactly
suggest.
right. So just check that one and just make sure that maybe for a change you don't fuel up the helicopter. The other one is you could downsize your yacht.
Yeah. Good idea.
Potential reality that might be heartbreaking for some to hear is that maybe you need an extra $9,000 from the government for that super yacht purchase just to slum it with a regular boring yacht. I know you might be called a peasant by everyone else at the golf club, but sometimes you just got to pinch those pennies.
Yeah,
it's just how it goes. Yeah, I know you do, Wincy. I know you do. The other thing is, look, sometimes when it's getting hard on the pocket, you just got to make different choices, and instead of just buying the normal brand, you look for a cheaper cocaine alternative. It's as easy as that. We all like to buy the name brands we know and love, but with the amount of cocaine doing in order to keep your energy up while bragging on social media that you've cut down your coffee, but in the same way, sometimes your help needs to shop at Audi because you refuse to give them a pay rise. You might need to go to the slightly poorer neighborhoods to get some slightly lower quality, but much cheaper bumps. So you just got to think about that. You do have to think about that. And look, this is a good one, and it probably won't. Be apparent to most people, and so I thought I would point it out here. Look, stop buying a new Stanley Cup with every drink of water. A rare known fact amongst owner of designer environmentally friendly cups is that they're actually reusable. Their practicality is meant to be more than just a fashion statement, and you can actually use the one you already have multiple times. You also do not need to just throw it in the trash and end up in the ocean moment. A new designer cup brand replaces this one. So if you hadn't thrown out tens of those moments, Stanley Cups went viral. So we've only got a couple more tips here, but I think that this should help any Richies listening to the old new Blurt. This should be able to help them out, I think. So this is a good tip. It's not one that I would normally recommend, but, times are hard, and I think people getting 200,000 plus will probably need to think about these sort of things. Maybe, unfortunately, steal money from a homeless person.
Oh yeah, trick them from the little cups that they're holding. Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, absolutely. I've made that. I have definitely made that error before. I have done that. Not steal their money, but I put money in their coffee. I did do that.
Oh no.
Did actually do that. I did actually do that.
Oh, jeez.
I saw someone else had done it after I did it, so I didn't feel so bad. But I did actually do that. But while you may not notice that these people, because they've been beaten by the police and thrown in jail, they go within 500 meters of a rich suburb, but there are actually a lot of people who currently don't have a home, not just lacking investment properties, but any property. But we assume that they would have probably heard how hard it is for you to get 4.5-year tax cut. They would probably be fine with you taking your fair share of the money people give them for food. You are the real victim of this unfair societal structure after all. I think that speaks to a lot of us there.
It
does
does.
indeed. It does indeed. So, look, only a couple more here. And look, this is a good tip for any sort of rich players out there. Stop playing Lamborghini bumper cars. We understand that this favourite pastime is many of the rich, alongside spitting on poor and voting teal. But there are cheaper alternatives than playing Lamborghini bumper cars, including playing used Lamborghini bumper cars, or just regular bumper cars, or just giving us $1 million and we will play human bumper cars, just running around a field, running into each other with our arms by our sides for your entertainment. Yes, we could do that. We could do that. So this is the last one, but I hope this has been helpful for people out there. I've tried to make it so. Make a blood sacrifice to the old gods of prosperity.
Intriguing.
A traditional money saving tip. Blood sacrifices have gone out of fashion in recent centuries, but doesn't mean that they've lost their purpose. Simply conduct a blood sacrifice on your born Nepo baby, and old gods will grant you great prosperity, similar to what you already have, but with the added bonus of saving all the money you waste on that annoying Nepo baby child of yours. Now, if people don't actually know what a Nepo baby is, which is a very, very good question, we're talking nepotism, which basically means that you have been handed riches from your rich dad or granddad or whatever. Or parent. And we are talking very, very rich, as in Kerry Packer, James Packer, Richard, was it? Whatever is Murdoch? What's the, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah,
something Murdoch. Whatever is Murdoch is.
You're swearing now, Murdoch.
Yeah, sorry. So there was Keith Swear, Rupert Swear, and now there's James Swear and Lachlan Swear. So that's all your Nepo baby sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yes,
Lang and Ryan Hart.
Oh, Gina Hart. Yeah. Yup. But we don't want to mention any more of those on this program because people.
I do have one more to add to the list.
Oh yes, nice,
to help
excellent.
The
richies
poor
out there,
billionaires, the riches. I think maybe if they none of those tips work, maybe they could set up a GoFundMe page to say that they are really struggling without that extra tax cut, and so they should just us poor people should donate to help them continue their lifestyle.
Look, another one. I think that's beautifully said, and I think we'll go out on that. That's very poetic, and seems to be very fair from what I can understand.
I think so.
We probably do need to, contribute more to their wealth because God knows that they're doing as much as they possibly can to pay as little tax as humanly possible. Otherwise, they couldn't make that amount of money in the first place. So
yeah, exactly.
But anyway. So, people, that is your show for this week, and I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some tips. The tips came straight from the Chaser, and that will be a link in our show notes, and you can have a bit of a read and a bit of a chortle. And I'll give the Chaser a bit of a shout out. I think their podcast is coming back daily in February, which is in a couple of days' time. Yes, so
not long now to wait.
No, definitely not. And Wency, what have we got next week?
We have a special guest, Charles Duckworth, who is a Greens candidate running for the local council elections here in Brisbane. So we have council elections coming in March, so we thought we'd invite him over, and he's gladly accepted the invite, and we'll have a just good old chat to see where he's come from, why he's running, and
what his policies are, what he's wanting to change, or look,
all that stuff. So
super interesting. Very, very muchly look forward to that one. So good night, anyone, or good morning, or whenever you're listening to this pod. Thank you very much, Wensai, as always.
Yep, and thank you. Great host as always, and hope we have a better week. Less rain.
Yes. Yes, less sweat and mold for you. So with that, people, good night, blessers.
Bye.